Abracadabra, wands up in the air, dusty roads and old saloons, magic everywhere.
This is 13 Minutes to Magic Texas, an abbreviated limited series podcast about the TAOM, SAM, FISM, NACM combined convention on August the 30th through September the 2nd, 2024 in Arlington, Texas, which we call Magic Texas. I am one of your hosts, Scott Wells.
And I'm Dal Sanders, the current president of the Texas Association of Magicians and co-producer of Magic Texas.
And I'm Mark Whitehouse. I'm the SAM convention chairman and the other co-producer of Magic Texas.
Every 2 weeks, we will post a new episode with new information, updates, and announcements about Magic Texas. This week, we're going to have a great conversation with one of the performers who will be some of the talent, and that is Greg Wilson. Welcome, Greg. How are you?
Hey, everybody. Howdy.
Glad to have you here with us, and we're excited because you're going to be bringing your mother along with you, Nani Darnell. How fantastic is that going to be, man?
It's really special because she has not wanted to really leave the house except to maybe go up to the Magic Castle. But as soon as she heard about the convention there that y'all are having, she said, "Oh, I want to go." And it's just wonderful. You've inspired her to go out and do something wonderful and share time with all our friends there in Texas.
That warms my heart. What do you think about that, Dal?
I just think it's wonderful. And I think you missed her official title. As I recall, her official title is the lovely Nani Darnell.
You're right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I watched all of those shows.
Alaka Lovely and Alaka Swell.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I did when I was 10 years old. I was sitting out in front of my TV and had my bowl of cereal on Saturday mornings. I was living in Miami at the time, and just digging on Mark and Nani and just loving that so much.
So you got to see the Magic Land of Alakazam when it was actually happening. That's so cool.
That's right.
I was 4 years old, and my grandparents lived in New York City, and we made several trips to the World's Fair in New York, and where Mark was doing
the
things.
Hall of Magic.
Yeah. Meet me at the smoke ring.
That must have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, I was only 4, but but I'm a magician now.
Early impression. Yeah.
And I know one of the things that you have been doing, Greg, is protecting the legacy, basically, of the Magic Land of Alakazam and going back through some of the old tapes and digitizing them and bringing them up to date and things like that. So I know that's been an expensive project, and you've been raising money and getting all this done. And how's that project coming along?
Oh, doing great. The most recent things we've had transferred were the original Dallas television shows that were the local they weren't called syndicated yet, but the local shows when 2-inch videotape was just being tested as a broadcast medium for television. And so I've got a number of those that we still have. And due to some gracious funding from some nice people, we were able to actually transfer them. And I'll be bringing those with me.
It's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Those are the WFAA tapes, right?
Right, exactly. And it's amazing how high the quality is. They really burnt that magnetic signal into those tapes in the early days. It's crisp and clean.
Wow. And no one has seen those, I guess, since then.
Correct. They've just been sitting in boxes and fortunately not decaying too much.
So we're going to be the first to see them at Magic Texas.
Yes. Well, I did screen them at Mom's birthday party. So, yeah, Mom just turned 93.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She asks me often how old I am. And she says, no, you can't be that old because that's how old I am.
And one of the things we're going to be doing, I think, while we're in Dallas is visiting the place where Nani and Mark got married.
Lovely of you all to schedule the convention to be right after Mom and Dad's wedding anniversary.
That's we planned it that way. You know that.
You're so kind.
I mean, the fact that we've done TAOM on Labor Day weekend for 85 years has nothing to do with it. We planned it especially just for your mom.
So I can drag her up there a day early, and I have never been to the chapel that they were married in.
You've never been to Perkins Chapel?
No. I haven't really been on the SMU campus. So it's a real treat for me.
It's a lovely It's a lovely little chapel, and you're really going to enjoy it. And the Dallas Magic Club, I'm the dean of the Dallas Magic Club too, and the Dallas Magic Club is planning a special event just to honor your mom and your dad.
Wow.
And all of you Wilsons too. So
wow. Well, I'll bring pictures from the 1953 so we can see what's still the same.
That'll be awesome. That'll be just awesome. Yeah, and Mark, as most people know, or maybe they don't know, he was a member of the Dallas Magic Club, and we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Dallas Magic Club this year. And he was a member back in the 50s and 60s.
And he also worked at the Magic Land of Alakazam, and worked at Magic Land.
Yes.
Douglas Magic Land, yes. Now,
So
I understand that one of the display booth tables from Douglas Magic Land is still in Dallas at another magic shop, right?
That's correct. It's over in the Fort Worth Magic Shop.
Wow.
Magic Etc. So, yes, it's still here.
That's cool. I have pictures of Dad standing behind it.
Well, you're going to have to take a little side trip over to Fort Worth, too.
You had a picture of you standing behind it, yeah.
Yeah. Whenever that we were last in Dallas, well, in 2000, whenever I was president, and we had your dad and mom and you come out and perform. And I think you came out later because Mark had come out a few days before in order to help promote the thing. And I remember distinctly, you were talking briefly, you just mentioned SMU there, Greg, and we had gone on the SMU campus. I remember going into this trailer that were kind of cooling off and waiting for the lady from the television station to get there to do this interview. Then he stood outside. And he was talking about how he had been a cheerleader for SMU back in the day.
Yes, and the president of his fraternity.
That's right, and the president,
Yeah. So I'm excited to see all that. That show that we did at that convention was at the Majestic Theater.
That's correct.
Which is where Mark and Nani had their first date.
Oh, how cool was that?
There's this furniture store. Do I have enough time for a quick story, really quick?
Of course.
Okay, there was a furniture store next to the Majestic Theater on their walk, and that's where Dad first saw television sets when he was growing up, and decided that where he wanted to market himself instead of doing only live appearances. And so they got a table at that furniture shop when they started their new family there in Dallas, and that table, their dining room table, is the one that they built all the magic kits on and did, pre-produce their shows on. And then they brought that table with them to Los Angeles when they started doing Alakazam. And that was their dining room table. I've seen pictures of my brother's birthday parties on that table. And then they moved houses here in LA, and that table went to the house that I grew up in. And I found pictures of me sitting at the table with Dad having popcorn. And
cool.
Then they moved out to Valencia, and they brought that table with them. And then this morning, as a matter of fact, I had breakfast with Mom on that same table. And you know what? There's just 2 more payments, and that table's going to be ours. That was one of Dad's favorite jokes to tell.
That's a great story. Yeah, I remember when you guys came out here, and I think that's the first time I met you in 2000.
Could be, yeah.
And we're so excited that you guys we're excited that Nani wanted to come back.
Me too. That's just wonderful.
So let's see. How are we? Do we have you involved in the convention, Dal? How do we have them? They have they're going to be a booth in our exhibitors hall.
A booth in the exhibitors hall. They're going to be the entertainment after we do the show on Monday. I keep trying to say Sunday, but it's the show on Monday.
The FISM final contest show. Before we announce Brad Jacobs People's Choice Award winner, you're going to be on stage doing a very special illusion, I understand.
Yes, we're working on how to get all of us and stuff there. So we'll leave it a surprise until we get closer, but it's going to be worth coming to see. Yeah. Because my goal is to have all of the immediate Wilson family there in the show. And so Sean, my niece, Mark Wilson and Nani Darnell's granddaughter, is also going to try and perform. So we're very excited.
I'm so glad you're doing that. She's also been a member of the Dallas Magic Club, and she and I have worked together on quite a few shows, and she's delightful on stage. I went out to meet her, and she was working in a restaurant at that time. And I thought, well, she's, working in a restaurant just because she's Mark and Nani's granddaughter. I don't know, And then she had to go across the restaurant to take care of some other people. And the way she moved through the restaurant, I just sat there and went, oh, yes, that's Nani Darnell's granddaughter.
Oh,
She's
wonderful.
got so much grace and poise. And it was so great. And that's when I said, I want to work with her. And I loved working with her. So.
And the other good thing is she's Nani's size, so she fits in all the boxes.
Yeah, she's a tiny little thing.
Yeah, cool.
Do you still have some of the different costumes that your mom had worn, and perhaps?
Nearly everything. Yes. So whatever Sean fits in that's appropriate, we're going to bring it.
Wow, this is going to be special.
I'm trying to bring all of the really cool old Dallas stuff that we have here because it's the Dallas Convention. This is nowhere else. It doesn't things that are more important for the folk coming to Dallas than anything else.
That's right. And he got his start here. He worked with Dr. Pepper and some of the other local companies, 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
All those companies.
And my very first on-stage appearance of my life was at the TAOM in Houston.
Oh,
how old were you then?
Well, let's see. That would have been 54 years ago. I was 5, and I'm 59 now.
You're not 59. You can't be 59.
That's exactly what my mother says.
That's how old I am.
Wait a minute. I used to be 59.
And now people can come up to me and say, oh, I used to watch you when I was a kid.
True. That's true. So I just wanted to mention one other thing that Greg and Nani are going to be involved with at Magic Texas, and that is the Life member, the SAM Life member, and the Order of Willard breakfast. We're going to have a combined event for the Order of Willard and the Life members, and that they're going to be doing a little bit of the historical thing that the Order of Willard Life members are famous for. So
wonderful! That's exciting, and I'm preparing some really fun stuff for that too.
Wow. All the more reasons why I think people should attend Magic Texas. And where do they go, Mark, in order to register?
Oh, they go to magictexas.com.
That ought to be easy enough to remember.
Hey, and you need to sign up for your hotels really, really soon because the block is going to close on August 9th. I don't know if you hear that, but that's our time.
There we go. I guess we run out of time. Thank you, Greg, very much for being our guest today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for Magic Texas, that was Mark Whitehouse, as well as Dal Sanders, and that was Greg Wilson. And this is Scott Wells. Bye-bye, y'all.